We are back though tonight playing the masterpiece Imbroglio, which is another level 5 adventure from the Keys from the Golden Vault anthology from Wizards of the Coast. We are joined by two of our community members tonight. We do have Angelus playing with us as well, and also Spencer. How's it going?
It's going. It's going well. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Yep,
thank you.
thank you. Great to be
Yes.
here.
We are going to be, again, for those of you that aren't aware, we do play Adventurers League rules, which is the organized play system for D&D with Wizards of the Coast. It is basically rules as written, so no homebrew rules, basically the DM rules that we're using is the AL rules. Is what we're doing. So it's fairly easy to follow. If you need, if you're interested in playing any AL, you can always check out our Discord below. We have all of the PDFs, everything you need is there in the community Discord channel. So let's go ahead and get started here with some character introductions here. And then after that, we did have a request for some viewers wanted to see what the keys looked like. So we will pop those up here in a second. But right now, what we're going to go through is go ahead and have Reginald and Stink reintroduce your characters to the viewers, and then we will have our two guest bards that are working with the Golden Vault introduce themselves. So Reginald, go ahead.
Hey folks, I'll be playing Reginald this evening, the Harengon Swarmkeeper Ranger, with their gaggle of raccoons. Escaped from prison to find themselves working with the Vault. For tonight's adventure, I will be bringing half-plate mithril armor, slippers of spider climb, and a hat of disguise.
Excellent. Thank you, Reginald. And then we have Stinkfoot.
Hey, Stinkfoot, Alabaster Grasper. I am a Sverfneblin wizard of the Abjuration School. I don't have any cool raccoons. However, I am rocking the Broom of Flying and the Hat of Disguise for this evening.
There you are, rocking Fireball. And then we have Loot.
I am Lute Song. I am a Tinku Bard, and I have a Rhythm Maker's Drum +1, and yeah, that's me.
And I believe in the background you said something about your character was born in a wagon, as her family is like a group of troubadours or something. Minstrels?
Yeah, basically traveling minstrels, thieves, and he got left behind because he got caught.
All right. Thank you very much, Loot. Then we have Thaddeus.
Yes, Thaddeus Garland. Greetings. My name is Thaddeus Garland. I am a simple bard. I have come because I've heard that this party is in dire need of some leadership to guide them on their way. The Golden Vault has sent me here to take over and make sure that these missions can be accomplished well. And that is my purpose here. I am a level 5 Eloquence Bard. Not a lot of magic items, rapier, +1 rapier, and a ring, which I'm not going to talk about too much. But let's just say it might make it hard for you to tell me for you to tell what's going on in my head.
Nice.
That's about it.
All right. Well, thank you, Thaddeus. Of course, I always start all the players off with inspiration, so everyone can go ahead and begin the game with inspiration as well. Feel free to use it. I do, when you do heroic things and inspirational things while we play, make a crucial role, have a really great plan, you can usually get the inspiration back for your whole group. So again, we are playing with the Keys from the Golden Vault, basically, to give everyone a little bit of the idea of what the Golden Vault does, is that they are a group rumored to be associated with metallic dragons. The Golden Vault is a secretive organization kind of believed to be on one of the good aligned outer planes. Its memberships and activities are almost impossible for outsiders to track. But those that are in the know are aware that the organization rights moral wrongs, supports virtuous underdogs, and handles delicate situations local authorities won't touch. The Golden Vault's motto reflects its primary motive: do good, no matter the cost. and missions for the Golden Vault are usually illegal, but are always just and support a moral cause. And some of our viewers have requested to see some of the keys, because when we pop up the links, pop up the handouts for the players in game, some of the viewers don't always get to see them. So let's go ahead real quick and we'll just give a little refresher of what some of the previous keys looked like for the players, or for the viewers, I should say. So our first one, we had the Murkmire Malevolence, and this was the key that the players were given, the characters were given. And then we had the Stygian Gambit. If you recall, that was the one where they went to the casino. And then we had Reach for the Stars. And of course, the fun to play Prisoner 13. And then finally, last adventure we played was Tockworth's Clockworks. And we've also set our adventures from Keys from the Golden Vault in the City of Splendors of Waterdeep. Move the map over there so everyone can have an idea of where your characters are, what's going on, things of that nature. The group has been working from Troll Skull Alley in the Troll Skull Manor, owned by one Braden Hawks, who is a friend of the Golden Vault. And many of the, and of course you have the upper level, the attic and such, to plan some of your heists when you get a mission from the Golden Vault. Lift Spirits is the name of the tavern that's attached to the manor, and owned and operated by Braden Fox as well. And as usual, you find yourselves, taking a few days of rest after your last mission, and as you head downstairs this afternoon, it's fairly early in the afternoon. It's kind of towards the end of the work week, and it seems Braden has closed down the tavern this afternoon, perhaps heading to a party or another event from some of the other tavern owners and such here in Waterdeep. And you do hear a knock at the door. Actually, the private entrance of the manor, not at the tavern itself.
Thaddeus, you want to grab the door?
Am I in the in the tavern already?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
Yes, you've been with them the whole time.
Okay, apologies. In that case, yes, I will hop up and definitely open the door. Won't even look, just throw it wide open.
You open it up and you kind of first don't see anyone, and you happen to glance down and you see that there's a gnome, appear to be some sort of messenger, and he puts a box out in front of you. It's kind of wrapped with butcher paper and some twine, and just passes it over to you.
Oh, but thank you, my good man, my good person. I assume that's for me. Thank you. I will pass the silver piece over as a tip.
There you go.
Oh, he definitely takes it if you tip him a gold piece, and he kind of stares at it for a while. It's like, oh goodness, and he gives you a really, really wide grin and turns and kind of a little bit more pep in his step as he heads off.
I will close the door, turn around, and head back inside. Everyone, I believe we may have a mission, as they say.
Yep. And inside the butcher paper is a plain wooden box. And of course, inside that wooden box, you find a key. As you're used to seeing when you get a message from the Golden Vault, and you do have to, of course, you can head on upstairs if you want to, where you have your magic music box. And here's the key for tonight's adventure.
Ooh.
Quite a striking portrait.
Indeed, and after inserting the key into the box, you hear the same. The lid pops open, of course, in the music box, and the soothing voice again that you're used to hearing says, "Greetings, operatives. A valuable painting has been stolen from a member of the Cognoscenti Esoterica, an organization that connects with connections to the Golden Vault. The Cognoscenti Esoterica specializes in the study of rare objects of historical significance. We suspect that the stolen painting, Constantori's portrait, has magical properties and ties to the occult. This quest, should you choose to undertake it, requires you to infiltrate the guild house of the Agile Hand, a dangerous new thieves guild here in Waterdeep. Find where the painting is kept, recover it, and return it to Andrisa Karamorti of the Cognoscenti Esoterica. Of course, a preliminary meeting with Andrisa has already been arranged. A coach should be arriving shortly to deliver you safely to her location. Good luck, operatives." Of course, the music box then closes and the golden key vanishes. Almost on cue, you hear the clomping of shoot horses on cobblestones outside of the manor house.
Oh my, prompt service. Everyone, chop chop, we must pack up and be ready to depart. It appears that our mission begins now.
Stinkfoot?
Fun.
All right, I drop my broom and pick up my Ring of the Ram and get ready to head out.
You there? Would you grab my bags, please?
Sure.
And as you gather up your things, you head outside and you see that there's indeed a coach pulled by two black horses outside. You see the coach driver, cheerful woman, invites you all to climb aboard. Please, get on in.
So go ahead.
Oh no, she just says, "Please get on in."
I nod, and as I take my bags from Stinkfoot, I will press a copper piece into his hand.
There you go.
I flick it onto the street.
Make sure you write it down in your Adventurers League logs, tipped by Thaddeus.
1 copper.
But yes, she does go ahead and close the coach after everyone is in, hops back up, and proceeds to start driving, winding through the streets, bustling streets of the City of Splendor's Waterdeep.
It's all quite mysterious.
Indeed.
Thaddeus would be sitting comfortably in the coach, just enjoying the ride. No particular worries right
Do you
now.
have a parasol or anything? Because it does start to lightly rain outside as you're traveling.
Oh, this isn't an enclosed coach. This is an open.
Oh no! But when you get out, it is enclosed, yes, but you can hear the pitter patter of the rain on the roof of the carriage as you're traveling, and bumping a little bit here on the cobblestone streets. You do winding through, kind of glancing out the window. You do notice you're passing through the North Yard, heading through the Field Ward, and after you get out of the city itself, not too far off, following the high road. You do come upon on the outskirts. The rain begins to fall on your coach, and you pull up beside an open barn surrounded by fields of dead corn. You see a tall, well-dressed woman, human, emerges from the barn as you exit with a cloak held up over her head. And she, as you begin to exit the coach, she says, "Thank you for coming," she says with a smile. "I'm Andrisa Karamorti. My organization would like to hire you to retrieve a painting that was stolen from us by a thieves guild. Please, let's come inside, out of the rain.
Ah, yes, I am Thaddeus Garland. These are my loyal retainers. We are at your service.
Excellent, excellent. Yes. And going inside the barn, you can smell the smells of like the farm animals and livestock inside and such. But it doesn't seem as if there's really any horses in any of the stalls or anything like that. Of course, the hay all around as well. She does begin and says, "Well, what we are seeking is the painting's safe return. Is very important to us. And if you will accept this quest, I'm prepared to offer you 2,000 gold pieces."
Each.
I see. Each.
No, we are a fairly solid organization, but we're not that wealthy, of course.
Okay.
But with there being 4 or 5 of you, of course, that's a fairly handsome sum for each person. 400 to 500 gold each.
It is.
I'd like to say, just for the record, using my hat, I'm just going to play the part Thaddeus is describing as the party. I appear to be in a human form.
Okay. What type of outfit?
Lots of ruffles.
Nice. Maybe with a little tray and some white gloves and such. So she says, she kind of looks around to each one of you and says, well, if you agree, of course, I can. There's someone else, of course, I'd like you to meet as well. Do we have an accord?
The original missive we were given said that we were to retrieve this painting from another organization.
Yes, it was stolen from us by a newly founded thieves guild
And
called the
we would,
Agro.
we would infiltrate their guild house, as I understand it.
I believe that is where it's being kept. But of course, if you have someone else I would like for you to meet, we might be able to give you more information.
Before we agree, I must ask, their guild house would likely be full of other pilfered treasures, would it not?
Oh, I'm sure there would be more pilfered treasures there, yes. That
And
is not of our concern. If you wish anything you wish to do, that is totally up to you, of course. We just want the painting back.
in that case, and without looking at anyone else in the party, because in that case, we would gladly accept this quest.
He says, excellent, excellent. Well, please, this way. And she kind of leads you up to a ladder, and she kind of climbs up the ladder and gets into the barn's loft. And once everyone is up into the lofts, you kind of look around a little bit, and you see at the end, like right where there's the front of the barn doors at the top would open up. You see in the middle of that loft up there, tied to a wooden chair, a scrawny human man with patchy facial hair. He's sweating profusely and chewing nervously on a cloth gag in his mouth. And Adrisa turns to you and says, yes, I believe he said his name was Grinky Britworth, or Brithwort? And he kind of nods nervously when she says Brithwort. Yes, Grinky Brithwort. And let me put these names into the chat for you. I've said a bunch of stuff here.
Cool.
Cognoscentia Esoterica is the organization that
I didn't even try to spell that one.
I'm going to drop it here in the chat and on post as well. Then, of course, the painting that they're looking for is called the Constantori's Portrait. We'll put that in the chat as well over there. Drisa Karamorti is the female human that you're speaking with now. And the person that is tied up to the chair is named Grinky Brithwort. And Adrisa says, yes, he was captured. I believe he was a lookout for the thieves that came and stole the portraits from our establishment. It's very sad. Many people think that we are charlatans or pranksters. They believe that what we've collected does not have enough evidence to support our claims, but this, we believe, is something of true significance. And she kind of takes her gloves and kind of takes one of them off and puts it in her, takes the other one off, puts them in her hand, and she kind of motions to the captured thief lookout, the bandit. I'm not very good at gathering information from this sort of person, so feel free.
Redwald will look over at the rest of the party and say, yes, do feel free to see what information you can extract. No intention to get my hands dirty.
So who would like to step forward? You can. She says that she's not really good at questioning or interrogation. She might be able to help give you more information from the information that you gather from this Grinky fella here. Reginald suddenly looks exactly like Grinky Brithwort. Nice.
One action.
That's funny, Zarda. We were joking about that in chat with ourselves just before about Strahd, before we started streaming tonight.
Yeah.
So I'll mention aside to Reginald and the rest that I can detect thoughts once we start interrogating, but I only have a minute, so someone will have to give me a little gesture, and I just start playing with a little copper piece that someone was kind enough to just give me as my spell component, and I play with the copper piece and wait, and I'll whenever we're ready, I'll cast detect thoughts on our friend.
Like, for example, to kind of give you a little bit of prompting, if you will, you could ask things like, what does what's the layout of the guild house, or who's the leader of their guild? Different ways to get inside. You could ask about guard stuff. You could ask about membership. Obviously, the portrait's location would be something you might be interested in. You might think of different ways of how you might get in. Do you want to maybe, once you get more information, do you want to go in as like maybe try to join the guild? Do you want to maybe sneak in like delivering supplies or something like that? Anything along those lines that you might get from this person to help you get the information to help you start planning the heist. Obviously, like even a map layout of the guild house. Yeah.
I'm certainly not good at talking, but I can start.
I mean, first of all, does he look hostile to us, or more neutral or friendly?
He doesn't really look. He looks afraid. Really, he's nervously chewing on the cloth gag in his mouth, and you can see his sweating profusely, sweat dripping down from his patchy face, his facial hair here and there.
Okay. In that case, before anyone starts questioning him, I would like to attempt to cast Friends on him, which will give us advantage. Will give me advantage, I guess, on all charisma checks directed at him if he isn't hostile to me currently.
He is not hostile, though.
Okay. I'm not going to ask questions. I'm not even telling him I'm casting. I'm just going to quietly cast the spell in the background while waiting for someone else to do something.
Okay. All right. So looks like Reginald's going to step forward. What about you, Loot? I guess you just have mimicry, don't you?
Well, that's a great thing about the update is that they with the monsters of the multiverse is that they're no longer restricted to just speak.
That's right.
Oh, they just have language now. That's cool.
Yeah.
But
Do you have any spells or anything you would like to aid with? As you can see Reginald going up to start to speak with the Green Key.
I can aid with intimidation if that's the way he wants to go, or I can do the intimidation if he wants to do the aiding.
if you want to aid with intimidation, that's cool.
Okay, you can help with that, and that will give you advantage if you want to use it. And start with intimidation. You can do so, Reginald. You get that check with advantage.
Sure. I'm going to look upon what was their name one more time? Sorry,
Green Key,
Green Key.
Grinky. I will turn to them and adjust my hat, and they will see my visage turn into them. As
His eyes
raccoons,
go wide.
as angry raccoons seem to apparate from my person around them.
And you see his eyes go wide at the sight of this magic. And he kind of starts trembling in the chair a little bit. His arms kind of tied behind his back on this rickety wooden chair.
And I guess I have advantage, you said?
Yes.
6.
And kind of as you get closer, almost recognition comes over his eyes. It's just kind of more of an illusion or whatever. And he does calm down a bit. But you do see, Thaddeus, from your vantage point, that his eyes do kind of soften a bit in your direction. They don't seem to be as fearful.
I'm sort of my intention. Thaddeus' intention is to play a good cop, bad cop, but he's not telling anyone else he's doing this.
Okay.
That's how Thaddeus is. So he's waiting for the intimidation to happen. Seeing that it has not seeming to have had much effect, Thaddeus will lean in and say, "Friend," as I sort of suddenly smear a little makeup on my face. "Friend, don't be afraid of my companions. I can protect you from them, but only if you give us the information we require. We must know how to penetrate your clubhouse and capture the items within. Can you aid us with that?"
Go ahead and give me your persuasion check with advantage since you have friends.
All right. That's a
Nice.
dirty 20.
Nice. He kind of starts talking a little bit with the gag in his mouth, and he's kind of can't really understand what he's making out. But he says something like, "Oh, I'm so afraid of the idle hand. I don't know years."
Ah, yes. I'll pull out a dagger from my boot and cut the gag out from his mouth.
And he starts, moving his jaw around. It's like, "Oh, well, yeah. My name's Granky. I've been associate with the Adelaide for years now. It's my job to watch out for the guards, but I was caught."
Yes, you seem quite incompetent, but surely you must know something of the clubhouse.
Of course, with the friends Patrick Cast has no recognition of the kind of insult given towards him with this incompetence. But he says, "What do you need to know? I might be able to help you out. Just make sure that you protect me from Guildmaster Dusk. She's a
Yes.
trained assassin and has powerful political connections."
Ah, yes. Excellent. I would very much like to meet her, but yes, we can certainly protect you from her. She is of no consequence. How would one gain entry to your clubhouse?
Well, getting inside, give me one more persuasion check with advantage. The DC will be a little bit lower this time.
Still a
Nice.
dirty 20.
All right. Says, well, the windows of the guild house are boarded up and its doors are usually locked. I know that the 3 members have master keys to the doors. There's Guildmaster Dusk, of course. There's Elix the Saint, one of Dusk's lieutenants, and J Mount the Sinner, the guild's resident spy.
See, and might there be an opportunity to intercept one of them outside of the residence?
You might be able to. I know that Elix likes to drink at a different pub. It's a bit far away from the clubhouse. He does give you an idea of where the guild house is located, which is right over there.
I see.
He says, I think that the Master of Ravens, Squish, she might have a key as well. But I guess the best way to get your hands on a Master Key is probably snatch it from Elix the Saint. He frequents a little seedy tavern called the Tipsy Tankard.
Interesting. I'll look over at Loot, who Thaddeus just assumes is a thief, is a burglar, because he's Kenku, and Thaddeus is just like that. And say, friend, do you have any technical questions that might help us penetrate the clubhouse?
None that I can think of.
Anything you'd like to add, or ask?
Any traps, any magic, any warding, what's the security?
Well, by late evening, most guild members have gone to sleep. Senior guild members usually take the late night shifts for the guards. There's traps all over the place, especially for training new recruits. I can tell you this, though, Dusk ain't accepting no new guild members right now. I've been working for the guild since I was a kid, and I'm still not a ranking member.
You truly must be incompetent.
And he looks to you and kind of smiles.
Doesn't
know what competent means.
How does the guild supply itself?
Well, supplies are sometimes delivered to the guild house by riders on horseback or by a mule-drawn cart. All the supplies are received and inspected by Laris Drop, stable master, at the livery stables.
And do you happen to know where they would be stashing this portrait within the guild?
I don't know where the portrait is, but I'm guessing it's either in Guildmaster Dusk's quarters, which are on the second floor of the guild house tower, or maybe hidden in the basement where many of the new guild members are trained.
I asked him if he could draw us a map of the floors of the guild house while I'm playing catch with myself with my knife.
And
You should do what he says before he gets impatient. He can become quite violent. I've seen it.
Actually, when you say that, Adrisa does step forward and she says, "Well, he did furnish me with the sketched map of the Agile Hands Guild House," and she hands it over to you.
Hold on, chat. I'll get that up for you in just a second.
Oh, and I also do want to let our chat know as well. Dalton Shin is not with us this evening. His wife's birthday was this weekend, and they went to the fabulous New York City. So he will be back next week, however. Snaps will be back. So there's the guild house. It does have a few notes on it here and there. She says, and as you're looking that over, Adrisa does say that I have heard of this guild master Dusk before. It seems everyone seems to ignore the activities of Dusk and her guild. I mean, larceny is the Agile Hand specialty, but Dusk uses blackmail, extortion, threats of violence, and whatever else it takes to keep her enemies at bay.
Ah, the classics.
Indeed, she says.
can you tell us anything more about this portrait?
Yes, it's the portrait's the work of a famed artist, the Kessie, I believe, the Kessie Kwan. That was commissioned by the late Diana Gristhorne, a grand dame in the criminal underworld here in Waterdeep. The painting is sentient. It was made to eavesdrop on conversations and pass along secrets to its owner. Like its beautiful subject, the painting is notoriously vain.
Can't imagine what
See,
that's like.
Yes, it's very strange. The painting itself is we did spend a small fortune at the Esoterica to acquire this painting. We were going to host a debate over its cultural significance, as as rumored to be a portrait of well, it is. I've seen the painting. She says it's a portrait of what many consider to be the most beautiful man that's ever lived. And we were going to have debates over the aesthetics of masculine beauty and its influence on society and such.
While this is happening, Thaddeus is definitely running a hand vainly through his hair. Unconsciously. He's not thinking about it. He's just...
Just mindlessly posing.
Yeah, basically.
So it's a painting of Thaddeus.
Oh, I don't know that I'm the most handsome man who ever lived, but top
Oh, you
10
are.
maybe.
You are.
She
Can you
does.
tell
Did you know that you asked about the painting? You say, so it's a painting of Thaddeus, whatever, and everyone chuckles and such like that. I can show you. And she goes through and casts a minor illusion.
Ah, yes, quite charming. I can see why it would be vain. Indeed.
And Grinky does it's been about a minute or so and kind of shakes it off, and he kind of looks over at Thaddeus and a little bit more fear in his eyes again.
I'm just going to smile at him and say thank you for the information. Change back into the human ruffly visage.
Mm-hmm.
And a raccoon is going to hop up and pat him on the chest and then hop down.
I moved the mage hand to behind him so that we're playing catch with the knife like over his shoulder. And I ask, I need more information on these lookouts on the balconies. What's their schedule? How many are there? What's the what are their orders? What's their charge?
Give me a persuasion check. I'll give you advantage since you're using the mage hands to toss the knife back and forth.
Okay. Persuasion. I'm about as good at
Nice.
Reginald. I am not. Okay.
I'll say
he's like,
that's my job to be bad at those.
Most of them are lower ranking bandits and such. They get bullied into the senior guild members to take the late night shifts. There's usually one on the balcony up front, usually one around the balcony out back.
Okay. And you said in the evening it tends to be the senior members, and the rest of the time it's the newer recruits?
No, at night the senior members are sleeping.
No. That's what I thought. I must have misheard you.
Would the junior members be roughly as incompetent as you are?
They kind of scowls a little bit at you now that he realizes that you've been calling him incompetent the whole time, but he was under the effects of the friend spell. But go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Oops. Persuasion.
Oh, nice.
29.
He
That's
kind of
it?
looks at you. He kind of lowers one of his eyebrows, like
I smile
They're
at
just-
him.
he says, "They're just as competent as I am yet." Then he kind of gets a surly look on his face. Drissa does mention. She says, It's likely that the Agile Hand is a buyer for the painting. Therefore, I think it would be vital to recover it as quickly as possible before it ends up an even more secure location.
All right. So, Grinky, you're obviously highly competent. If you were to break in to your own guild house and steal this painting, what other advice would you give our group?
And I'm hardly ever allowed in. As I mentioned, I'm not even a ranking member yet. I just know that there's traps everywhere. But if I was trying to sneak in, is that what you're asking, though?
Yep.
I might maybe try the hayloft, going in through the stables. That's the easiest way to get access to the basement, if that's where they're keeping it.
And if they do get supplies by horse, that wouldn't be too hard to get into, theoretically.
Everyone has skill with insight. Give me a small insight check. Oh, nice.
Do you need to be proficient to roll, or just anyone who's not terrible?
Oh, no, if you're not terrible at it, go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Oof. Well, my roll's
we're
going to
terrible at
later.
Yeah, Reginald Loot, it does seem as if he might be holding something back. Just something small, maybe.
All right. I think it's time to cast Detect Thoughts. I need a wisdom save from them.
From Grinky?
Yeah,
not
let's
very
see.
good. That is definitely for sure. Give me 1 second.
As an action, you could shift your attention to appropriate creature's mind and must make a wisdom saving throw.
If you wanted to go deeper, that is, right? If you can just detect their normal surface thoughts, right?
Correct. I think I want to go deeper on this fellow.
Okay. His roll is a simple D20.
Come on, Otter. What happened? 16. Needed a 15. He got me.
Oh, okay.
So I guess we get basic.
You can definitely his surface thoughts are definitely trying not to soil himself at the moment. So do you want to ask him any other questions, or with the information? I'll go ahead and put these in chat for you. Some of the information that you got here so far.
I know he's not allowed. I know you're not allowed in the guild house, but are there any passphrases, secret phrases, anything we need to know to say or do?
Not that he knows of.
Didn't think so.
And with detected thoughts, you can tell he's not. He doesn't know anything like that. You would think that if you asked him that, and he knew any of them, he would immediately start thinking of them with his surface thoughts. But you don't detect any of those. Put this in the chat as well. Not accepting new members.
I'll glance to Thaddeus and say definitely very competent. So competent they are incompetent.
Very well.
There we go. So that way in Rule 20, you have the information gained there.
Perfect. Well, I'll turn back to oops. What's her name? Our hostess. Yes.
Drissa.
Drissa, yeah. I'll turn back to Drissa and say, you'll keep him safe for us, yes?
Yes. Would you like me to turn him over to the authorities? Would you like me to?
After we're successful, perhaps. Until then,
He stays here tied up till the painting's returned.
exactly. And I'll turn back to him and say, "You will behave, or my friend here," and I'll just sort of nudge back at at the dagger that I'm sure is still flying around the room. We'll be back. As long as we understand each other, yes?
And he nods, and Lisa kind of puts her gloves back on and puts the gag back into his mouth.
And I'll turn back to my companions and say, "Very well, fellows. I believe we have a heist to plan."
All right, and you can exit the barn. The coach is still outside waiting, and it will take you back to the Troll Skull Manor, where you can begin discussing and planning the heist.
Before we go, could I ask Adrissa if we were to possibly have our beautiful friend Thaddeus approach the Agile Hand as a potential buyer of the portrait as a way to get us some FaceTime with them, if she would.
Well, I should mention she as likely believes that they already have a buyer for the painting.
Right, but if word on the street is that there's a buyer for the painting and someone wants that more, maybe offering more, maybe we could get an audience with someone. Maybe not.
That's up to you. She
Okay.
says she doesn't know if that would work or not.
Okay.
But yeah, so you're able to go back to Troll Skull Alley, to this Troll Skull Manor, and can start planning the heist. We'll get you in the mood by moving you over to the Troll Skull Manor map.
On the way back, I'll mention, if we were to try and set me up as a buyer, to have some credibility, we could put word out that a fellow known as Giles Chamberlain is looking to buy the painting. That name may have some notoriety attached to it. Might get their attention. Certainly not someone I'm related to or know that much about, of course.
Do I believe him?
I don't know, do you?
I'm not
Are you
sure.
Your
That's a 23 deception.
There you go.
Sounds legit to me.
I'd buy it.
But here we are. You guys do have, of course, rooms. There are guest rooms here. There is an attic up above. You know that there's a basement as well. There's a floor below you also that has bedrooms also.
Fancy.
And you can take a look at the handout and start planning what you'd like to do, different ideas. The planning phase of planning your heist.
What do we think of this basement or guildmaster's quarters? That's like a
Either
weird.
all the way in one way, or all the way up, or all the way down.
I know that when I have something particularly valuable, I prefer to keep it close to myself, but I don't know that necessarily applies to everybody.
Pretty sure I would keep it
I need to
close, too.
step away from my computer real quick, guys. I have to take care of something. Please continue. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Well, hey, why don't we go ahead and just take a small break here? That way, us and the viewers can use the restroom, refresh some beverages, and we'll come back here in about 5 minutes or so. Does that sound okay for everyone?
Okay.
Rock and
We're
roll.
done.
Good.
So stick around, everyone. We'll be back after a short little break. All right, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for that short break there. We are back, and the characters are ready to, the PCs are ready to start planning their heist. Then you have a few great bits of information about the guild masters, some ideas about getting inside. They know that one of the people that has a master key, Frank would say a tavern of good distance away from the guild house, had a tavern called the Tipsy Tankard. They also have a little bit of information about the guards. Most of the guards that are guarding the place at night are lower ranking guild members. And the lookout that was captured had mentioned the portrait that they would believe would be either in the guildmaster's quarters or on the second floor of the guild house's tower, or hidden in the basement where the new members are trained. So with all of your information, go ahead. We'll let you as the players discuss different ideas for planning your heist here. This is all you guys.
All right. Well, I'm never disinclined to visit a tavern if it can be worked into a mission, fellows. So that is one possibility that I'm definitely in favor of. We could visit Mr. Elix the Saint. I don't know how the rest of you feel about that, though. I would like this to. I am more of a big picture person, so I will rely on you to mostly fill in the details of our plan, of course.
Of course you are. Where are we gonna look first? We should probably make a decision if we're gonna hit the basement or the guildmaster's quarters first. Where do we think is a better likely first spot to check? Reginald, maybe? You're smart at stuff like this.
Hmm.
Right now, boom, you just stole the painting. You have to hide it in your clubhouse. You hiding it up in your bedroom or down in the basement?
I don't think it'd be in the basement with the trainees.
All right, so
That's
Yeah,
got
don't need any of them breaking it.
It's got too many eyes and hands near something that could be rather valuable, especially if they've lined up a buyer that's going to be somewhere safe where only a couple hands can get to it.
Although the map does mention a secret door in the basement.
someplace.
Someplace.
That is true.
Traps all over.
If I had to take a stab at it, my guess would be either in the quartermaster's or the guildmaster's quarters or somewhere nearby. I don't think they'd have it somewhere people could easily stumble across. But that's just a guess.
That does match my own personal preference. I like to keep my valuables close at hand, somewhere I know I can keep an eye on them myself. I rarely trust others, especially if all of the other members of this particular guild are as competent as our friend back in the barn.
Well, that does, if you're looking, as Stinkfoot had mentioned, if you're planning more towards going towards the guildmaster's quarters, that's obviously you can see the map in the middle of the handout there.
Mhm.
That's like basically the ground level. So you do notice that there are two separate buildings, like the office, the library, and the stables are one building, and then the guild house's main floor. That's one building there. So
I
if
was
you're
gonna
going
ask.
to the basement, you'd be looking at the building on the east. If you're going to the guild master's chambers, you would be going to the building on the west side.
I assume at least one of you is proficient at disarming traps, yes?
Yeah, he's off with his wife this week in Waterdeep.
I see.
Unless Loot has some skills we don't know of.
Um, that's a good question.
Oh, speak again. I do have
Oh,
thieves' tools.
Yep.
I do have some proficiency in sleight of hand, but not in thieves' tools.
Out of character, Thaddeus is proficient in both thieves' tools and sleight of hand. He just doesn't like to get his hands dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Once
Figured.
again.
I'm also proficient in thieves' tools and sleight of hand.
Oh, that's right. Right, you are. So,
Excellent. Well, then, hopefully the traps won't be too much of a difficulty for us.
so we decided we're going to go for the second floor guildmaster's quarters first.
How do we
Seems the
want
smartest.
to get in?
Stables to Hayloft. Oh, that's the other building.
We
Yeah, Cranky
Well,
said that if it was him, he'd go through the stables to go to the basement if he was going that direction, or try to find a way to get past the back into the back door. You just have to be careful of the lookout that was on the balcony. If you notice at the top there,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It seems to me, then again, this is not my area of expertise, but the stables and hayloft seem like they would be less well guarded than the other parts of the building and might provide cover from the balconies that have lookouts on them.
Yep.
Perhaps we could approach from that side, infiltrate that way, and then make your way across the rooftops. Assuming that one of you has expertise in that sort of scenario.
I'm sure you'll do just fine.
Trying to figure out. It doesn't look like the I mean, if the buildings are angled the way they are on the map, doesn't look like the lookout at the back of the main building would have a very good view of the door on the main floor.
Like
Mhm.
the back door to the main house.
If we're looking
Yeah.
at the top right image, it looks like there is a singular lookout on the back side of that building that would be able to see back there.
Well, if from what your boat's describing,
Mhm.
basically where the words are to the basement, above there would be where the balcony is, where the person is stationed, right above those steps there. I
Right.
think that Luke was referring to the building on the left there, towards the
Right.
bottom, angled. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
approach from the west, you could probably have it to where neither one of the lookouts would be able to see you.
Yeah.
If it came in from the northwest,
But if you came from the northwest, the one on the balcony would most likely be able to see you.
If we came from
Plus,
due
well,
west, hit the building, and then sort of crept along the wall to the back door.
that would work. Yeah,
right?
that's a possibility.
Or if the wizard just went invisible, he probably wouldn't be seen.
The wizard could go invisible and do some recon if they wanted to. Do you
Do
happen
we
to have
know
look?
if
Go on.
do we know if that's a tower for the guildmaster's quarters? Like a circular section that seems not quite separate from the building, but
Yeah, I think they mentioned that was a tower that's connected to the building there.
I should point out that once we're within approximately 1,000 feet of these two buildings, I may be able to determine where the painting is.
Locate objects.
locate object.
I have located objects. I don't know if it's going to be good enough with the minor illusion we saw, but I could certainly try.
So then we start with obtaining a key.
Yeah, you can do that if you wish.
Or do we want to try and pick our way in?
I think we give Thaddeus a shot at scoring this key. We could get there ahead of him and position ourselves
Darbar's got a
around.
good in there in the chat.
I like the fireball idea. I mean, fireball fixes every problem.
That's
To
plan B.
whom it may concern.
Locked door, fireball. Sentry, fireball.
Fireball's always plan B. I don't want to cheat the adventure.
I'm not playing that character today. Anyway,
I am. I have no
yes,
problem.
yes, I could try and retrieve the key from Mr. Elix the Saint. I'm reasonably confident that is doable. And then we could approach from the west and attempt to gain entry through the back door of the guild house.
Would you
that are proficient with thieves' tools that could try to remove the trap that's in the back door there, of course.
Yes, that seems like a good idea.
would you be approaching him directly, speaking with him, giving maybe Reginald a opportunity to walk by and bump into him?
Absolutely, yes. I would approach him. Again, I could use this identity I am vaguely aware of, Giles Chamberlain, and approach him under that name. It is a name of some ill repute. It might interest him. Offer to buy him a drink, perhaps. Distract him, chat him up a little bit. I can be quite distracting when I desire to be.
But then we have two shots at getting the key. You can take a swing at it, and Reginald could take a swing as a passerby.
Yes, ideally, if someone else could lift it off him while I distract him, then even if he knows it's missing, I can feign innocence, as I will not have it on me.
I'm pretty handy at sleight of hand myself, so I don't know if he'll take kindly to getting bumped into all night. May arouse some
I
suspicion.
I could soothe his feelings. I have played this particular game more than once, shall we say, in the past.
Very skilled member of the Golden Vault, right?
I am a highly skilled member of the Golden Vault, yes, an expert in many things. That's why I was sent here, of course, to lead this ragtag band.
All right,
I
so
acted if I didn't hear that.
I do
So
so
yeah.
enjoy working with the underdogs.
so the first part of the plan so far is to find Elix the Saint, follow him to wherever he's going, perhaps maybe have Thaddeus approach under the guise of this other person
And annoy
to
him.
perhaps maybe ask about maybe the idea you had earlier, perhaps maybe about posing as a buyer or something, which would give Reginald enough time to kind of sneak up and with a sleight of hand try to lift the key off of the person, which would give you a master key. And then obviously approaching under the cloak of night, because of the lower level guild members are the ones that are going to be on watch. And then make your way to the back door and hopefully remove the trap. And then using the master key would be able to get you through the different locked doors in the establishment. Once you get to the establishment, what are you going? What does it look like you're doing? It's just, especially since you're going inside that the left building there, the building on the west. You want to pull up that Otter, if you can, pull up the guild house map from Green Key, so the viewers can see. Maybe they got some suggestions as well.
Yep.
Fireball?
Fireball.
There could be a fire in the stables as a distraction, just saying.
PTSD flashbacks.
The stable's
Yeah.
on fire. Oh
I'm
no.
pretty sure if the hayloft catches fire, they're going to forget about the painting for a
Oh,
little
I
while.
hope my housemate is not watching this.
Hayloft put in
Sarah,
adventures.
if you're watching, it wasn't my idea to light the barn on fire this time, I swear.
I'm just saying, haylofts are put in adventures for the sole sake of being a fiery distraction.
Giant mechanical dinosaurs are put there to be.
Same thing. Mechanical Allosaurus, hayloft, same thing.
But of course, what I mean was, like, once you get inside the building, what would your plan be? What would your plan be from entering in on the first floor?
Well, I can tell you Thaddeus is going to be looking for anything that looks valuable and isn't nailed down.
Yeah.
That's basically his entire plan.
Okay.
I
What about
might
for
feel
everyone
like,
else?
I may feel like going invisible and taking a trip to the second floor while looking out for traps. Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. And what is the plan for Lute and Reginald then?
Well, I'm pretty good at sneaking around. And if we were to come across the guildmaster while sneaking, I have a few things in my arsenal that could maybe take him down, or at least stop him from being able to do much to us without serious injury.
Yeah, because as Grinkin mentioned, most of the senior guild members will be sleeping if you're going in under the cover of night. So, as you just mentioned, Lute, most likely the guildmaster will be in her chambers, probably asleep. Hopefully.
I must admit, fellows, that being silent is not one of my specialties, which I know may shock you, but I'm not particularly adept at being quiet.
For an hour, I can make you at least a little quieter.
Please do.
Yes,
I am
that's right.
quite adept at talking my way out of trouble, however. That is generally how I handle such things.
So what other types of magics do you have available that could help in this? I know that Reginald has their hat of disguise.
Mm-hmm.
We have a visibility spell with Stinkfoot. What types of magic do Lute and Thaddeus, both of you being skilled bards, what types of magics did you bring?
I can also disguise myself as a guard if needed, or any other being.
I can as well.
Beyond that, most of my abilities are used to charm other people, convince them to see my way of things.
Mhm.
On occasion, I can do that more forcefully if needed.
If you have the ability to disguise yourself, is that magical like you've seen me do?
Quite similar, yes. I don't have a hat to perform the trick for me, but I have the ability to do something very similar myself, yes.
If we were to gain sight on this saint, that ability might prove very useful for us to just walk in.
That is a possibility. If we could ensure that he would not return while we were infiltrating. I am a very skilled actor, as well as being a very skilled at persuading people of things.
Oh.
I was going to say, if I can listen to his voice for long enough, I could mimic him.
That's
Ooh.
a good point. My whole brain is like, I'm an amateur actor. I took the feat because I'm bad at it.
It always seems to be the one doing the talking.
Yes.
Yeah, so
For
I
the
think
record, I can't.
we should have Reginald pose as a new recruit. Walk right in like he belongs there and just start lying and see how it goes.
Well, that would definitely not work because they're not accepting new recruits right now. Don't forget. Yeah.
But Reginald's so
what
good at it.
Reginald,
I could be Grinky. They already know he's bad.
Yet your characters would remember that he's generally not allowed because he's not a ranking member.
True.
What if he came in with Elix the Saint?
Promotion day. The day has come.
That would be interesting. You have someone coming in with Grinky and Elix the Saint together. Possibility.
Out of character, we could do the Star Wars trick of someone being a prisoner being brought in by Grinky and Elix, if someone wants to. It worked great in Star Wars, guys. I don't recall any complications at all.
Nope, none at all.
These are not the thieves you're looking for.
So what would you like to do first? Do you want to maybe perhaps try to get a scout, maybe case the place a little bit to see what the outskirts of it look like, see how close you can get? Or do you want to, tail Elix, the saint, to see what his routine is? It was mentioned by Grinky that he tends to leave the guild house around sundown and usually returns around midnight.
Buys us a couple hours.
Yeah, I would definitely be into getting a feel for Elix. He appears to be my mark. So Thaddeus' routine would definitely be or Thaddeus' modus operandi would definitely be to get a feel for his routine, his mannerisms, sort of watch him for a bit. I could throw in a different disguise to do so I'm not really noticed. And then visit later as Giles Chamberlain as a different guise again, so he doesn't recognize me.
And if Lute can mimic, that's a boon for us. If we can get them close enough to listen for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to walk into a pub and hang around for a little while.
Okay, so if you want, you can. It was probably around mid morning when you got the delivery. It's another couple of hours traveling to the farmhouse and speaking with Grinky, sitting around here at the Troll Skull Manor. It's getting close to sundown, perhaps maybe a bell or two away from sundown. So if you want, you can go ahead and make your way over to the area of where the Agile Hand Guild House is and kind of wait to follow Elix if that's what you would want to do.
Sounds like a start.
All right. Move everyone back over to the Waterdeep map. So yes, you're able to make your way over fairly uneventfully. You can either, walk, get horses if you've purchased any, or grab a coach for a couple silver to make your way over here to the Agile Hand Guild House. You do notice that the outside of the guild house itself, obviously not wanting to head back, directly around the area inside and like let them, be seen by the scouts that are up on the balconies. But you do notice that the outside of it's kind of situated here at the end of this cobbled street here. I believe it's Breeze Cut, and right around you can get there around Breeze Cut or this other back alley here. See the back of the stables faces kind of a grassy embankment on the middle in the middle here that does seem to be scattered with mulberry trees. You do notice that the guild house itself is a wooden complex consisting of a main building and an adjoining tower. And you also notice that there is the openings for the stables as well. But everyone do me a favor and give me a perception check.
I also would have used my Svirfneblin magic of disguise self to just look like a halfling or anything that's not me, so that
Cool.
if I'll be a fat little dirty halfling, look, hardworking, end of the day.
Certainly.
Um,
All right. Well, the first thing that you notice, Reginald and Thaddeus, kind of peeking around, using your disguise to walk past as a different person every once in a while. One of the first things that you notice is that it's not a 2-story tower. The tower is a 3-story tower.
Okay.
I pull out the map and look at it again.
Nothing on the map about a 3rd story on the tower.
Well, either he was lying or he is just that incompetent. I tend to lean towards the latter, personally.
Yeah.
And also, Reginald. Actually, I want to go with Thaddeus since Thaddeus had a little bit higher of a role, even though it's the same role. Thaddeus, you do happen to notice that there is a young boy working in the stable.
A young boy. He looks like a peasant boy.
Yes, like a stable boy.
Excellent. I will actually call him over. I still look like Thaddeus at the moment. I will call him over. You there, boy?
None of you have really been able to get that close to the building. You're just kind of examining it from outside.
I'll walk right up. If I see the boy, I'll walk right up and say, "You there, boy?"
You're not supposed to be here. Can't you see the sign? I mean, there are
Boy,
signs. Kind of walking into the area.
How much to rent a horse, boy? I require a mount.
These aren't for rent.
This is the stables, is it not? You have horses? Yes.
This is not. This is a private property. And you do see there are some signs that says private property, keep out, and such like that.
I am intently not seeing them.
He goes, so you'll have to leave, or I'll have to call the guards.
Guards, what? I would like to rent a horse. What What is wrong with that? What
I,
are you soft in the head, boy?
I cast a message to Thaddeus and say, remember you're in water deep. Remember the code legal. They don't put up with nonsense in the city proper.
I will whisper back. Duly noted.
He
Um,
goes,
Pop that hand out.
he kind of starts. He does have like a pitchfork. Who's like, you know, throwing hay around for the different horses. You can kind of hear, the guard out. You can't really see it from the side you approached. If you're looking at your map there, they can't really see you there, but you can. They kind of you start. You hear one of them shout. Let me find the boy's name real quick.
while he's doing that, so at this point I pulled out a map, not the Guildhouse map, but just a map of the city.
Sure.
And I'll be like looking at. Well, if you cannot rent me a horse, at least can you give me directions? Your dreadful city is quite confusing.
Do give me a fairly simple deception check.
Absolutely. Deception. So that's
Nice.
actually a 17 because I cannot roll lower than 17 on deceptions.
Excellent. Yeah, he let me find out. I'm trying to find the where's that? He does go ahead and point to where you can rent a horse, and then you hear a voice kind of behind the thing says, "Needley, what's going on over there?" And he turns back to you and says, "You better leave."
I will toss a silver piece at the boy as I turn around and leave.
Okay, give me a
Lord.
quick stealth check. Fairly easy stealth check.
Now this is like my second worst ability check. So let's see how
Really?
this goes. Oh yeah, about as good as I expected.
Well,
I'm not.
the guard doesn't say anything to you, but you do notice, kind of hurrying away. So the guard did happen to spot you.
I'm not really like hurrying or trying to hide. I'm just walking away without saying anything. So just
Yeah,
rolling. Yeah.
And so it wasn't horrible because 10 was your DC. 10, you would have gotten away without them spotting you. But the guard, you do kind of, just as you're nonchalantly walking away, you do kind of turning, and you do see that the guard was kind of looking in your direction.
Rule number 1: never run. Then they know you have something to hide.
There you go. There you go.
Act like you belong. All right, I'll just stroll back out and then go move through the flow of traffic and rejoin my companion.
Sure. And after a bit of time, go ahead.
Yep.
I give him
I
the
was gonna say, was
slow
I able to pick out any other discrepancies while getting fairly close to the house that didn't match up with the map?
No, other than that, it was just the second. There was a third level to the tower, a third floor.
Okay.
But yes, we're just waiting around for a little while. You do happen to see the figure that was described to you as Elix the Saint leaving the alley nearby and proceeds to start walking through the city. It's about sundown. You can hear the bells ringing, about 7 bells, and can begin to follow him. But everyone, let's go ahead and give me a group stealth check. Not really to be stealthing per se, but to more just to kind of blend in with the crowd, make it look as if you're not following this guy.
Can I roll performance instead of stealth as someone who is
It's okay. Yeah, you can. Sure, you could totally do that. Yes, easily, without just completely nonchalantly following. This guy has no clue that you're following him, and it's about a 45-minute walk as you hear the bells start shortly after you kind of up to this small little tavern called the Tipsy Tankard that is over down just outside the castle, right over here in this area.
Okay.
Whoa.
It's a 45-minute walk. Yeah.
Oh yes. And you see him enter into. You see outside a big tankard that's kind of tipped to the side, sloshed over with some ale or whatever liquid leaking out from it, and it does have in common scrawled on the wooden sign, the Tipsy Tavern, Tipsy Tankard. Sorry.
All right. I will cast Disguise Self on myself
Okay.
at this point. So to the rest of my party, I wouldn't look that different. Same height, same hair color, different hairstyle, different clothes, but sort of like a similar, again, sort of slightly pompous style of clothing. Um, for those of you familiar with fashion, it would be whatever the height of fashion currently is, or was, I guess, last year in Neverwinter.
Okay.
And same for the hairstyle. It's just like the height of fashion from last season in Neverwinter, basically. But other than that, basically the same. Facial features are slightly different, just enough so I don't look quite the same. But
Okay.
like, if you were to describe me, I would match both descriptions.
And then loot. You said something about disguising yourself as well to head in there. And you are on mute, by the way, if you are talking.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
I will disguise myself to go in with him. I will disguise myself as a dwarf.
Okay.
With, let's call it like livery outfit, like someone who'd be going in alongside Thaddeus as a not quite a servant, but of that ilk.
Yeah. Gotcha. And then Reginald, what about you? Are you going to disguise yourself?
Yeah, we'll just go with generic human. Nothing too crazy one way or another, just working clothes.
What about Stinkfoot?
Is there by any chance another entrance? I'd rather not come in the same door as all of the rest of them.
Well, you don't have to all go in at the same time. There is most likely some sort of service entrance in the back, or not a service entrance, I should say, in the back.
No, it's okay. I'd come in the front door. I'm still looking like a dirty, hardworking halfling. Not looking at all like a Svirfnebly. And
Okay.
probably position myself as far away from them as I could and still have a vantage point to watch.
Sure. So who's all going to enter? I'm assuming not entering at the same time. I'm assuming that, of course, Thaddeus and Luke would be entering together. And then shortly afterwards, Reginald coming in. And then shortly afterwards, Stinkfoot. Is that what it sounds like?
Sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you enter in, it is getting close to, it was about 7 bells. So it's getting close to 8 bells in the evening. And of course, you do see it's a modest tavern. There's nothing, it's not really seedy. It's not really upscale or anything like that. Being in this area here, it is fairly close to the trade wards as well. And of course, the North Ward is where a lot of people live that work around the cities also. So it is fairly full of patrons. You do see probably about 75% capacity at the moment. You do see a number of servers walking amongst the people. And you do notice that the figure of Elix the Saint is sitting at the bar and seems to be flirting with a young bartender behind the bar.
Oh, Thaddeus, go steal his thunder.
Yeah, Thaddeus will saunter up, not making a beeline, but like moving fairly directly towards him, and will just grab the bar stool next to him. If there is someone on it, I will like quietly whisper into their ear. This seat is spoken for while pushing a gold piece in their hand. If there is someone there, if not, then I'll just take the seat.
All right. Give me 1 second here. Let us see if there's even anyone there sitting beside him. There's not. The bar stool is in fact empty.
and I can save my gold piece. And I can able to slide up into the seat next to him,
Okay.
and smile at the bartender and try and catch her eye.
And you notice he's kind of flirting, and she's kind of flirting back a little bit with him and stuff like that. And then she says, "Oh, I just got a customer. Hold on." She's kind of steps up. Yes, what can I get you?
Can you describe her to me, please?
Pardon?
Out of character, can you describe the bartender to me, please?
She's a young human, kind of thick, red hair. She's got green eyes, a little bit of freckles and such like that. And seems to be wearing a fairly serviceable tunic. Does have an apron on as well. Leather breeches, leather knee-high boots as well. Kind of has like a serviceable, almost like what we could call like a pirate blouse underneath
Gotcha.
her vest and her apron. And she's
Okay.
got a bar rag in her hand as well.
I will smile at her with my 1,000-watt smile, my brightest smile, as I say, "Oh my, I was going to order a drink, but I'm afraid all I have is coins, not gems like the emeralds clearly that make up your eyes. Hopefully gold is enough to order a drink."
And she kind of blushes a little bit like that, and you can see the Elix fella kind of look over in your direction. She's like, "Well, yes, point is fine," she says. "We've got stouts, we've got a nice pale ale in, we've got a nice dwarven fire ale as well. And we did just get a couple of crates of honey meat from Icewind Dale."
Oh, from honeymead from Icewind Dale. I've not had that since I left home. Very well. I would love some of that. Yes, please. Thank you.
No problem. And for your friend, and she kind of motions over to Lute.
I will. I will look. I will look down as if like I've forgotten about loot. Oh yes. Whatever you want, I will cover it.
Same.
She says, "All
Sort
right."
of like half roll my eyes, but then say, yes, another of the same, please.
And she'll turn around and come back and charge her gold with
I
two
will.
of honey meat.
I will pass her 2 gold. One is I'll send say keep the change.
Well, thank you.
And then I'll look over at loot and say, yes, you can go and find the other drivers to sit with, I suppose.
All right. And Salute, you can kind of find a table nearby
Yeah.
where you are within listening distance to kind of get, because your goal, I believe, was to get the sound of Elix's voice, right, for your mimicry.
Right. Yep.
Okay. That way you will actually probably be the one actually pose if you're using your disguise self and alter selves to look like Elix heading back. Perhaps maybe not tonight, but tomorrow night if you want to do the heist tomorrow night instead. But he does kind of as you kind of leave and sit down. What is Reginald and Stinkfoot doing? And you, Stinkfoot, are on mute as well.
I was waiting for Reginald to go. I am watching the scene from afar, getting a read of the room, trying to figure out if there's going to be a good shot to walk over and steal the key, or if we're just scouting the mission out. I'll probably at some point bury my face in my book and send a message to Reginald saying, "Are we here to grab the key tonight, or are we just checking the place out?" You can reply to this message.
Sorry. I probably would just go get a drink and wander around, just kind of keeping an eye on the situation. And responding to Stink would be that depends entirely on Thaddeus and what's going on.
Give me a perception check if you would, Reginald.
You got it.
Not a problem. You, whenever you want to, it could be tonight, it could be the next night, I mean, obviously, if you take it tonight and you don't do something with him, uh, and he gets home and realizes he doesn't have his key, that might stir some stuff up there at the guild house. However, you do think that it'd be fairly easy to pick his pocket, especially with as many people are around here. Especially if Thaddeus distracts him, or if you want to just continue to just get intel tonight, and then set things all into motion tomorrow evening. Totally up to all of you. But back
Well,
over to
then
Thaddeus, and you go ahead.
I would say adding that little bit to the end of my message back to Stinkfoot of doesn't seem it would be hard, but that depends on how it goes with Thaddeus.
Okay. And Luke, you are in position where you can give me a simple perception check as well. If you can hear me.
I did mute myself again. Sorry.
No.
I'm going to use my Kenku recall to give myself advantage on this.
Oh, perfect.
And it didn't help at all.
Oof.
Ooh.
Sitting too
Well,
close to
everybody-
Reginald.
you do notice that a bard has taken up a small stage in the corner and started playing on a lyre and singing some folk, some sea shanties for the some of the people here, and noise does pick up a little bit. Back to Thaddeus. She, of course, gives you your drink. Your loot has gone over and set at a table, and she takes the gold, puts it in the lockbox underneath, puts the other gold into her apron, and she comes back over, right back over to Helix, and they're just really just making small talk, and you can tell that he's just really having fun flirting with her, and she's having fun flirting back, but doesn't seem to be anything majorly serious.
I'm going to. I'm gonna try and just keep throwing monkey wrenches into that and try and break that up as much as possible so that his attention is not on her. I want to control the flow here, so I will drink. I'll start drinking my mead. And I'm watching as I continue to flirt. As I take the first like big swig, I'll actually chug the whole thing back. I can make a roll if you need me to. Hopefully.
Oh no, it's only yeah.
Okay. And
Those are-
I'll slam the mug back down on the bar and say bye. Oh, that was delicious. In fact, how about one for the bar, round for the bar of that delicious mead.
And she's like, "What?" And you do hear people, kind of hearing you say that, kind of looking back, like, "What?" She goes, "Are you sure? That'd be about 50 gold with the amount of people here tonight."
Oh, that is of no consequence. Yes, I can easily. Yes.
Certainly. And she runs over and she grabs the rope that's tied to this huge bell and bangs it back and forth. And you hear she shouts, "Around on the house! Courtesy of, I'm so sorry, sir. What was your name?"
Oh, just anonymous, please. I don't need the fame.
Of Anonymous, she says. Kind of chuckles. And you see Elix kind of look over and kind of gives you a hey, thanks for the drink or whatever. And she does, of course, first fill yours and his up since you're saying the bar. She does fill out the patrons at the bar as well. You see some of the other servers pulling out some trays and getting mugs ready and filling them up with mead as well.
Right. So she's distracted for a couple minutes though while she's busy filling mugs for everyone.
Uh-huh.
So while she's distracted doing that, after she served myself and Elix, I'll sort of lean in a little bit and say, friend, I hope you enjoyed the drink. I must admit, I did not come here entirely by chance. You are Elix the Saint, are you not?
He kind of sips he's sipping his tankard at the time, and it kind of stops. And looking at him, he's a fairly large bloke, human. He's got some like fairly dark hair, maybe about shoulder length, kind of curly. His facial features, fairly pointed nose. He does seem to have a fairly long goatee with dark hair as well. He does happen to have, you see, of course, wearing leathers and brown and black clothing here and there. He does happen to have on his hip, you do see a scimitar, and he does have a couple of daggers in his boots and one on his hip as well. He kind of looks over and says, I think you might have me mistaken for someone else.
I suppose that is possible, but I do not think it likely. Don't have no fear. I am not someone you need to be concerned with in that way. You may have heard of me, and I'll lean in like very close and whisper conspiratorially, "My name is Giles Chamberlain from Neverwinter. Perhaps you've heard the name?"
He kind of looks back to his tankard and says, I don't think I have.
Perhaps your contacts in Neverwinter are not as good as I'd heard. We are in the same line of work, you and I. We have similar interests. I was quite successful in Neverwinter for some time until, let's just say things got a little too warm in the city that never freezes over, and I was forced to relocate. I found myself here, and I hear that your organization are the new up-and-comers in this region.
He simply says back, well, we're not accepting new recruits at the time.
Oh, no, no, of course, I'm not looking to join. I'm not much of a joiner myself, but I did hear something of a recent job that you were on. Truth be told, you actually got there before I did. There was a certain item, a painting. I had a buyer all lined up, willing to pay a ridiculous price for it. I was putting a plan into motion to secure the item myself, only to hear that you and your allies got there first. I'm quite impressed. I would love to an opportunity to buy it if it's for sale. If not, no harm, no foul. I will have to let my buyer know that, unfortunately, no matter how high the price, they won't be able to purchase it.
He does say, yes, the early bird does get the worm. We've got a buyer already.
I assure you my buyer could definitely outbid your current buyer, but I wouldn't want to put you in an awkward position, of course. It's only if it's something that might be possible. I would love to broker this deal with you. I assure you, it could make us all quite wealthy. I, of course, have a finder's fee for the item, and if you were willing to broker it on your side of things, I could let you in for a percentage of my finder's fee, in addition to anything you might get from your guild.
Give me a persuasion check.
I will happily do that.
And with such great role playing, make it with advantage.
Okay. So that's a 29.
29. He kind of looks down, and the girl, you see, you find out that her name is Carissa behind the bar. And she comes back, and he kind of holds his hand up, and she kind of looks at him, with a weird look on her face, and he just kind of turns around and goes back to working on some stuff behind the bar. And he's like, well, I don't have a say in such things, but of course, if there's money involved, I can always mention it to my guild leader. Maybe meet you back here tomorrow night with a possible answer.
That sounds delightful. That would work very well for me. If you can meet me back here with an answer, and if possible, a number I could bring to my buyer, I could have the funds secured within 24 hours of that.
And I'm just going to attempt this for him. It probably is not going to work in any way, but I'm just going to do a little insight check for him.
Okay.
So
Want me to roll deception against that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Actually, can I do something before he rolls?
What would you like?
I would like to, as I'm speaking to him, I would like to use a unsettling words, my bardic feature, which would basically give him bardic disinspiration on
Well,
his
you don't
roll.
even have to make a deception
Oh no,
check.
it's only saving throws. Never mind. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
only
just
saving
gonna go
throws. Never
off
mind.
your. I'm just gonna go off of your persuasion that you made.
Okay.
So he's definitely not going to be able to make that. Yeah,
Okay.
he's not going to make that at all. He's completely trusting and believing what you're saying, and says, "Yeah, I'll speak with my guild master tomorrow, tonight when I return. If you meet me back here tomorrow at the same time, I'll could have an answer for you. We're always looking to make money."
Excellent. In the meantime, we should enjoy the rest of the evening. Of course, Clarissa, was it? Quite lovely.
As she is. And he kind of looks over and kind of nods to her, and she kind of comes back over, and you hear them say a couple flirty things back and forth to each other and chuckle and stuff.
I'll just sort of like keep like idly chatting at this point, during breaks in the conversation without trying to disrupt their flow too much anymore now. But just trying to keep discussion going as much as possible so that my companion has the best chance to overhear the conversation.
And that is where we'll go next to Loot once again. If you would go ahead and give me another perception check.
All right. I'm going to use another use of the Kenku recall. I get 3 uses of it equal to the proficiency bonus uses of it. So,
Okay, perfect.
let's hope it works out better this time. It's better.
Indeed, it does. Nice. Yes, you're able to pretty much, kind of position yourself like you see some of the columns in the wooden columns holding up the rafters and stuff inside the tavern. You're able to position yourself around to one side of one to where it kind of blots out the lyre music from the bard and the singing, and you're able to easily pick up the mannerisms and the sounds to be able to mimic Elix's voice if need be. Anything
right.
from Redwood or from Stinkfoot?
Unless I see Thaddeus really leaning into Elix, I'm just kind of keeping my distance, keeping an eye.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check as well.
Sure.
Oh, natural 20 for 26. Very nice. Looking about, you really you don't see anyone that would perhaps maybe even be a member of the Agile Hand Guild here. He definitely seems to come here alone at night. Obviously, you've noticed from the observing the interactions that he comes here to flirt with his bartender.
Mm-hmm.
And he's alone by himself. None of the other members around.
Noted. But if it just looks like Thaddeus is having pleasant conversation and not too much distracting going on, I'm keeping my distance.
He would be distracted enough if you wanted to do it tonight, but that's all up to you. Anything from you, Stinkfoot?
I'm going to walk around with my free mead, maybe bump into Loot and say, "Who the heck's the clown that bought a round for the whole bar? I've never seen that before."
That would be our clown.
I'm trying to pretend I don't know our clown.
So is there anything you would want to do, Thaddeus, at the bar to signal to your companions or anything like that?
I'm if I catch any of them like looking at me meaningfully, I'll just do a little no, like a little wave for no, as opposed to a little, wave over. So just a little no wave.
Sure.
Just like a no thanks. If I see them glancing over my way,
Gotcha.
let them know that everything is good, but don't come over.
All right.
All right, I think I will plop down somewhere at the bar and just start start small talking the closest drunk I could find.
There's plenty of them around. This is probably about an hour's past, so it's getting closer to 9 bells. And you don't really notice anything else of particular interest in the
Fishing for
tavern.
gossip. Yep, just fishing for gossip. What's new? What have you heard? What's good? What do you say?
Well,
Go
that
ahead.
hour is going to be an issue since disguise self only lasts for an hour. So, except for Otter, who's got the hat, I think the rest of us might have a little need to leave within that, before that hour hits up and our spells fade away.
Probably in about
Sure.
55 minutes in, 45 minutes in, I would probably excuse myself to use the washroom,
Yeah.
and then recast while I'm in there. I'm going to try and stay with him all night and keep him chatting and friendly.
Okay.
But I'll just
give you
take breaks
time.
periodically and recast as needed.
Yeah, we'll definitely give you a time to discuss to where your characters can meet up in that time period there to discuss stuff. But it is the top of the hour. Normally we take our break. We just take the one break at right in the middle of the stream. But it is the top of the hour. Let's go ahead and take one more small break here. And then we'll come back and your characters can discuss what you found out, what's going on, and all of that stuff. And we can do that right when we come back. So everyone stick around, please, and we'll be back after a short little break. Go use the restroom, grab some drinks, refresh your beverages and snacks, and we'll see you shortly.
Excellent. Thank you.
right, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for sticking around, watching the show tonight. Part 1. Of course, we will be back again next week with part 2. We got a little bit more time left, and the characters are able to meet up before the hour is over, before Lute's spell is finished. So take a few moments to discuss what's been talked about, what you've all seen, and what you can do with all this information.
All right. So I've made contact with our enemy. I have piqued his interest as a potential buyer for the item in question. I have arranged to meet him again here tomorrow evening, at which point we can secure the key and infiltrate the clubhouse, as it were. At that point, Lute, are you prepared to impersonate our friend?
Yeah, I think I've got a decent handle on his voice and can mimic him pretty good.
I believe it would be ideal if I went as Giles Chamberlain. Of course, again, a person that I am not related to at all. As we infiltrate the manor, and that way, if caught, they will already have heard of me, and I can feign that I'm just there to complete the transaction. That might buy us a few precious seconds of distraction. I think this should work. I think we have a workable plan. What say the rest of you?
Seems to be going well so far. Curious to see where it goes from here.
I as well. I actually will be getting back inside to continue drinking with our friend Elix for the rest of the evening, just to see if he spills any more secrets, though I don't expect that to happen. But I wouldn't want him to get suspicious that I have abandoned him early on in our nascent relationship.
And if you want, Reginald, you can also note that he is here by himself. You did notice that as well.
Yes. Keeping an eye on the room, it would seem he does come here alone. There doesn't seem to be anyone else from the guild here at the bar.
Interesting. No backup. Well, it seems
Just
that
here to flirt, maybe.
it seems that incompetence runs through their entire guild. So I guess that
Ain't
makes
love,
sense.
Fran? Love makes the world go round.
I suppose it does it that. I will say his paramour is quite fetching.
Okay.
Very well. I will
So-
head back in and continue for the evening, and I will meet you all back at the manor house this evening later.
Would you like someone to stay with you to keep an eye?
If you wish, I believe I should be okay. He doesn't regard me as a threat, and a tavern is one environment I am most comfortable in, honestly.
If needed,
I think
I
I'll
can... Oh,
No, go ahead. Go ahead,
I'll
Reginald.
say, if needed, I can keep this disguise up as long as needed or change is needed. Never hurts to have a second pair of eyes if you'd like it.
I would not mind. Yes, it is always nice to have someone watching one's back, as it were.
This is one of my suggestions that I always like to give out because, of course, we are not our characters, but our characters do know certain things that we sometimes forget as players. If you want, you could have Reginald step out and turn into the figure that Lute was came in as, since it was supposed to be your livery driver.
Mhm.
And you probably don't want to leave without your driver. So if Reginald sticks around, he can assume the form that Lute took, and kind of stick around to not throw up, to throw up any.
What form did Lute take?
A dwarf with basic livery, nothing like special about him. Just
I'm not sure if I can make myself look dwarf-sized.
how tall are you? Is there
You're medium, right?
Yeah, medium.
and dwarves are medium sized, so
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
fantastic! Yeah.
a little shorter.
Just don't hit your head on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't get any drinks because I wouldn't be able to imbibe.
pouring up above your head. Yeah.
Noted. But yeah, if that's a route we want to take, I could
It means you'll be able to
assume.
sit right next to me at the table, like right next to where I was. So
Yeah, I could assume the same form as your driver.
all right, I'll head back in first then. And then when you re-enter, I guess as the driver, I'll say, you should probably take it easy for the rest of the evening. We wouldn't want you to be partake too much before driving me home.
And
Nice. Everyone take back inspiration. It gives them a reason not to have to drink.
okay, I will nod and smile and just sit on down where I was.
And then I'll grab my stool just next to Elix again, and just sort of resume the flow of chat and paying compliments to the bartender without actually trying to outdo him at this point. I'm just trying to stay friendly with the two of them and
Kind of go like wingman mode.
yeah, exactly. I'm basically wingman mode at this point.
So I wanted to, I'll have, and then I'm assuming Loot and Stinkfoot are heading back to the manor house.
Sure. I was gonna
Okay.
hang back
Yeah.
and watch his back, but I don't want to
Or,
send
yeah,
Lou.
or unless you want to hang out, if you want to hang out outside the Tipsy Tankard, you can do so as well. Just to, keep an eye out, make sure your companions are safe. You can do that as well. But for the rest of the night, does get close to 12 to midnight. About that time, and do me a favor. Through the conversation, we'll have Reginald give me a perception check, and then we'll have Thaddeus give me another persuasion check to see if he can find a bit of other information.
Right.
Oof.
Persuasion.
All right. And then there'd be 1 more hour, so each one of you give me 1 more of those checks over the course of the night before it comes to midnight.
Boy, the dice like me today. This is gonna bite me. This is gonna bite me in the butt later when we're infiltrating the manor. I'm sure.
So over the course of the next couple of hours before it does become midnight, which is when Elix heads back to the guild house, you do get a little bit of information from him just in passing. Like she keeps they're flirting back and forth about them going on a date, which they're just really just uh, harmless flirting. But mentioning something, he does say something about if he doesn't return to the guild house by midnight, which is normally when he does, that the lookouts on watch usually assume he's either had too much to drink and either passed out in a field or gotten thrown into jail for brawling.
Oh.
His failure to return wouldn't cause any alarm. He's basically kind of talking with her, you know.
So okay. So out of character, I just had an idea. I guess in character, Thaddeus had an idea, which we'll discuss after we get back to the manor. I guess.
Sure. But it is at the stroke of midnight. He does pack up thing and settle up his tab, and does start making his way back to the guild house.
All right. After I will bid him a good night and then summon my driver, and we will make our way out.
All right. So you are able to all make your way back to Troll Skull Manor and discuss even more what you want to do with your plan. When you do get back there, however, in case you needed it, Stinkfoot, you do find this waiting for you, as it did take her take a Adrisa a day to find it. Everyone see that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Is a scroll of locate object.
Guess we'll see if the minor illusion and description we got of it will be enough to locate it. We'll find out. So when we're all back together in the manor, Thaddeus will say, so he let slip that he has somewhat of a reputation for brawling in the tavern and being tossed in the drunk tank overnight. I was thinking that once we relieve him of his key and assume his identity, we could perhaps attempt to start a bar brawl and have him locked up for the evening. No one in his guild would know, and when he does make his way back in the morning, it might cause some additional confusion, as it would not be out of character for him. I
We'd
prefer
have
not
to
to.
make sure not to get caught ourselves.
Yes. Well, with the ability that most of us seem to have to change our appearance, it seems like it might be easy enough to start something and then slip out under a different identity.
That you could do.
I have a limitation. I can only use mine once per day, though. But I have other ways.
Oh, you all, with those perception checks too, you all observed him enough that you could use a disguise kit if need be to disguise yourself. Maybe not the best for the Kenku to do it with a disguise kit, but
He just
Thaddeus,
got
if
a
you
real
need-
big nose all of a sudden. That's all. Got stung
Like-
by a bee.
You could be the one to summon the. You could run off and summon the watch, perhaps once the brawl starts to
that's
begin.
true.
Like you could, and that way you wouldn't need to be in disguise until it's time to be him.
I mean, with an ability, I hear Kenku are abnormally proficient at mimicry.
That too.
You can say that.
That sounds like a pretty good way to start a fight without starting a fight.
That is true. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and
Yeah,
put the
well-
memory ability for up in our Twitch chat. That way, those that might not be familiar with it, what Kenku can do.
Theoretically, we could initiate a fight between two people who aren't even talking.
Good. It's. I believe that his particular trigger point may be the bartender, though. If we want to draw him into the fight, something that involves her might be of use. He has quite the attachment to. Spencer's checking the name because I've forgotten. Carissa.
Hmm.
Some sort of insult or
Yes, something like
disparaging
that.
of her. I can't think of the word.
Disparage her character, as it were.
Mm,
For reputation, yeah, for
Yeah,
character
that's-
reputation.
Especially if he's had a few drinks, I'm sure he would rise to defend the occasion.
Obviously, we don't have to say it, but we can just say it's something that a toxic male would say to a female bartender in a bar.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't need to be those people.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna say it, but my character says some awful things that I'm not gonna say on stream.
Exactly.
Exactly.
my
But
character will
in
say it.
that
I won't
guy's
even sound like
voice.
I'm-
Yeah. My character's gonna say it, but in that dude's voice.
There you go.
I like this plan.
So-
I like this plan a lot.
Something to keep in mind too is that once you get the key from him, it will definitely set in motion for you to start your heist.
Yeah, so we meet him tomorrow night. I distract him a little bit. Someone lifts the key. Once we have the key, we start the bar brawl. Make sure he gets locked up for the evening. We take off, go to the manor. He's not going to bother us the rest of the evening. Luke pretends to be him. We slip inside, do our business, get the thing, get out. Bing bang boom, easy, simple, guys.
So
What do you know?
the
Nothing-
guild
nothing
house,
possibly wrong.
the tower has 3 levels, correct? Not the 2 that are shown on the map.
Correct.
Yes.
So we need to either somehow figure out what's on that 3rd level during the day tomorrow, or it could be as simple as an attic or storage of some sort.
If someone wants to walk up there with me, I could send Skeg the Raven. do some snooping. I just need someone to hold my hands.
I can do that.
While I'm looking through Skag's eyes, I don't want to step in a drain, walk into somebody, step in front of a carriage.
Yeah, that's 100-foot range for you to be able to do that. So you don't have to be right up next to the building. You could be out like in one of the other alleys nearby.
Mhm.
Something like that.
It's best if I avoid the house until I'm in disguise to heist it tomorrow, as they know this space quite well at this point.
Mm-hmm. So let me see, double check. I'm going to move myself over to the other map to check something for you. Yes, so give me 1 second. I can give you this information. As the next day, you could easily go to find this information using your Raven. Give me 1 moment to open this up. There it is. Just had to find it on the map there. It does have the top of the tower does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 windows. However, all of them, I believe, are curtained. But go ahead and give me a perception check from your Raven. We'll take you back to the main page. You actually should be able to open it up here. We'll take you back to the main page. That way, if you want, you can use the macros. And my apologies, I forgot to mention that to you, Loot and Thaddeus. There are a lot of macros in the collections tab up near your settings, the top right corner. You can click those macros on if you want to be able to just select your token and do some token actions from your character sheet. It's been a couple of weeks since we ran. I forgot about that.
I don't know why I rolled it 3 times.
No, that did it whispered to me. Yep. Oh, perception check. The first one was a 21.
Oh, then it sent you my passive. Okay, that was weird.
Yes, I have it set up to send a passive because I checked the passives versus stealth. Yes, so 21. You can tell that it appears to be some sort of office. And you can barely make out the edge of a gold frame painting of a beautiful, well-dressed man.
Thaddeus?
But that's the information you're able to get from the Raven.
Good birdie. Good wizard. Good birdie.
So it's up on the 3rd story.
Yes, and let me go through and turn that whispering off for your Raven. That way, everyone will be able to see it.
So we do have access to a couple brooms of flying.
So we fly up, smash a window, grab the painting, and fly away.
Well, if they
Wow.
can be opened, we can certainly try and sneak our way through the window.
We have at least one mage hand. I think there's a couple mage hands in the group.
Mm-hmm. 3?
Yep.
4?
How are the sight lines? Sorry, how are the sight lines in the tower from the 2 watch posts that the Raven could see? Like when the Raven was up there.
If you are up on the going to the 3rd level,
Yep.
both of the balconies will be able to see the top of the watchtower.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going with the fireball in the stables as a distraction for sure. That'll take care of the watches.
You know, there's a young stable boy that works there.
He was useless anyway. No, I'm kidding.
He'll get a whisper in his ear from his local friendly neighborhood spider wizard saying, "Go check the other place."
You should
Not reply to this message.
You
Well, if you
don't
start
know
it in the
me.
hayloft, it'll be above the where. Oh no, I'll probably be sleeping in the hayloft if I know stable boys.
It's likely he probably does up there.
Gets
Your
message in
mother
his head. You don't know me, but you should go home tonight. You're welcome.
Your mother fell and hurt herself. Go home. Don't reply to this message.
He does know me, and I could send him a similar message over greater distance.
True.
No greater distance.
Yeah,
This guy.
I can't do it as much, but I can send a message over a larger distance, twice per day. But that's I really prefer not to if I don't have to.
Yep. And if absolute needed, I can just walk up the side of the tower if we don't have enough spots on brooms.
Go ahead and give me one more perception there from Stink's Raven. Make sure I fix the whisper issue. Perfect. All right.
I will say about just going straight for the windows. They did say like there was traps everywhere, so
Mm-hmm.
That they did. All right. So let's go ahead and is there anything special other than getting that information from the Raven? Do you want to go purchase anything now that you have an idea of what's going on, where you'll be going? You can obviously we do have our shared campaigns handout there in your journals. If you need to purchase any potions or any scrolls, anything of that nature.
I'm still actually rather stocked up from our last endeavor.
Okay.
I think I'm okay for purchases today.
Got 3 greater healing.
Yep, I got 4 of them.
Oh. I still have that dust of disappearance.
Mm-hmm. I got a potion of vitality that I've had since episode 1.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
character does have chalk. I think one of my other characters needed chalk. This character has chalk.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get lost in a labyrinth maze, we can mark our way.
That is true. That is true. All right. Well, if there's nothing anyone else needs to pick up, we can go ahead and fast forward a little bit through time, and you all approaching the Tipsy Tankard the following evening.
there was one thing I would do before we get to the tavern. I would use my forgery kit to try
Okay.
and draft up a letter of note from my buyer, so that
Okay.
I have something to show him if I need it in conversation. That's just like fill in the amount here from
Sure.
let's say a bank in Neverwinter, since he did not seem to know Neverwinter all that well.
Well,
Okay. We'll go
while
ahead. Go
you're
ahead.
preparing to write this up, a raccoon is going to trot its way over and give you a pat on the leg, and I will provide you with an extra 2 of guidance.
Thank you. Okay. What ability should I be using for these
What
tools?
do you think? What would you like to roll? How do you think?
I
Give me a
think,
convincing argument for.
wisdom. Yeah, I'd say maybe wisdom. It's a lot of practice at like doing this, but like looking at I've looked at a lot of documents to sort of get a feel for what they're like, and done some practice on that. And sort of instinctual. I don't have any formal training in this other than
Mhm.
just a lot of practice and instinct for it. So wisdom
Okay.
plus proficiency. Does
Sure.
that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 for guidance. All right. See how this goes.
Deception.
Wisdom. Submit.
Nice.
22.
Nice.
These dice are going to turn against me at some point.
Yeah, the documents look fairly official. I mean, it would really take some scrutiny to see that they weren't real documents.
Excellent.
So yeah,
And
you
then
can
I'll hold them
definitely
up.
compare those.
Hold them up, tuck them in my inner pocket. Put on the guise of Giles Chamberlain again. Slightly different outfit. I mean, honestly, it looks basically the same, but it's just slightly different color or slightly different cut, like very minor differences.
Yeah.
Before heading back to the
You
tavern.
can't be wearing the same outfit 2 days in a
No.
row.
No, but still like very similar enough that if you weren't aware of like what's super fashionable, you might think it's the same outfit.
Yeah.
But like to someone who knows fashion, it looks completely different.
Exactly. Okay.
This is cerulean blue. The
so-
last one was sky blue. Come on.
So I think what you had mentioned was that Loot was going to stand outside, and when the bar brawl starts, Loot is going to go fetch the watch. Correct?
I mean, I think Luke could come in with us as long as he
Yeah.
just doesn't. When the bar brawl starts, he just needs to get out before like anything goes real south.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
You
think
can
Luke.
mimic some,
Go ahead. So as
use
is
some
Reginald-
mimicry to. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say use some mimicry to cause some chaos.
Get it started. Yes. So then is Reginald then coming in as the library attendant?
Yes.
Excellent. And what about Stinkfoot?
Hi. I think for the most part, I am going to get there ahead of them. Probably looking like a different halfling today. I assume we rested and we got our spells back, or is this?
Oh yes,
Concurrent.
this is a brand.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll drop my deep gnome magic version of disguise self, and hang back where I could see everything, but stay out of the way in case things go awry, and just sit there and nurse my mug of sour old rotten milk, and keep the raven on my lap under the table, unseen.
Because I was told this was going to be a day of deals, the attire for your driver is a little nicer than usual, as it's supposed to be an occasion to celebrate.
Fair enough.
Makes
Nice.
sense.
All right. So entering in, of course, at the staggering your entries into the Tipsy Tankard. Again, you see Elix the Saint sitting in the same bar stool in front of the Carissa, the bartender, and of course flirting away. And he kind of notices when he notices Giles, is it?
Giles Chamberlain, yes.
Giles Chamberlain enter in. He kind of nods to her, and she goes over and grabs a fine bottle of that honey mead and sits down a couple glasses right in front, fills them up, and she kind of slips away. And Elix kind of looks over. She goes, "Please have a seat."
Before she slips away, I will, as I'm coming over, I will say, "Oh my! Someone get a bucket of water. I believe your hair must be on fire. Look at how red it is. Just
He kind of
terrible
chuckles.
lines."
She of course blushes a little bit, and he kind of gives you a little nod, and kind of goes back over to cleaning some mugs and stuff like that. And he says, "Please have a seat. Have a seat."
Ah, yes, excellent. Thank you very much. I will. And I plunked down on the same bar stool I was on yesterday.
He kind of looks around a little bit, because it's not as
Yep.
crowded as the night before, but still people, still coming in and out. And he kind of whispers over and says, "Well, unfortunately, Dusk says no. They have a buyer. They've already have a contract and everything."
I will pull the paperwork out from my pockets, and I will put it on the bar so it sort of like let it sort of unfold so you can visibly see like where it's like Bank of Neverwinter and like a blank amount for the bank draft, and say, "Oh, well, that is a shame. I had looked forward to this, but I'm sure it's fine." I'll casually light up a little flame with a tinder and hold it up to the paper and watch it let it burn.
So nice.
Just watching his eyes as he sees basically a blank check burning.
Yeah.
And say, "That is a shame. I will have to inform my buyer, of course, but it is of no consequence. There will be other opportunities, other deals. We have formed, I think, a bond here, of course. I believe future opportunities for us to work together will definitely come up. I can't see any chance of that not happening. You are, of course, the real up-and-comers in the city, after all."
Yes. Well, at least I can do is take care of your tab tonight. How's that sound?
That is not needed, of course, but greatly appreciated. I would, yes. Why don't we spend the night? We can still celebrate a founding of a new friendship, a new business a potential future business partnership, perhaps.
Sounds like a plan. He takes up his tankard and offers it to clink it with yours. And starts to swig on it. And what would you like to do next?
Cast fireball at the bar. No, wait, that's not the right answer.
I will. I'll try and I'll just keep trying plying him with drinks for the next little while. Like keep the drinking going for the next little bit, trying to get him drunk, like as drunk as drunk as I can get away with it being suspicious.
Sure. By the way, what is your constitution?
What is my constitution?
Yes.
It's +1. It's not great.
Oh, all right.
But I do have lesser restoration if I need to keep myself in a poison condition.
Yeah, and you do have a good performance check as well.
Yep.
So what part of the night is Reginald going to go up and try to do the sleight of hand?
I would do like a signal, like once I think I notice him starting to get a little tipsy, I would try and like give a little signal to my compatriots.
All right.
Do a little thumbs up or a little wave over.
All right. So first of all, go ahead and give me a performance check, Thaddeus, if you would, and then Stinkfoot and Lute, go ahead and give me perception checks, looking about the room as well.
All right. I want this one to go really well, so I'm gonna give myself. I'm gonna use my DM inspiration on this one.
Okay.
Give myself advantage. Performance. Okay, so that's a 19.
You want the 19 or the 19? Yeah, you do a fairly good performance. Every once in a while, taking a drink and acting like you're, chugging it down or whatever, and then maybe dropping it down to your leg and letting it drip out or something like that. Down by the bar, because of course the bar you see mugs of ale and tankards and of mead and stouts and stuff being sloshed about all over the bar. But after about a couple of hours, again, him coming here around 6 or 7 bells and staying until midnight, you're definitely able to get him fairly inebriated, definitely not minding his P's and Q's. And coming towards close to the end of the evening, he is fairly sloshed.
All right, so I'll give the signal. I'm probably drunk enough that I can't really pay a lot of attention to my surroundings, but I'll try and give a signal to my compatriots to come over without really looking. Hopefully someone notices.
I mean, I would notice at the table with you, and I can certainly make a move for it without actually getting up from my chair.
Yeah, you can do so. He is pretty hammered, so he is. You will have advantage on your sleight of hand.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of cough into my shoulder and give myself a quick bump of guidance. For an extra 1, so it's a little bit.
Is there any way I could give him bardic inspiration?
Sure.
Yeah, so I'll give him a bardic inspiration die. I think it's a what is it?
D8.
D8 at 5.
D8 at okay, wait.
Yeah, I think at 5th level it's a D8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like me to roll that, or would you have Lute roll that?
Whoever. Yeah, Lute, if you want to roll a die 8, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. How do I do that? That's
The die icon in the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah, the upper left-hand corner. There
you go.
found
it.
Okay.
+4 to your roll.
So we got a +4, and effectively I'm using Mage Hand, but really I'm sending a raccoon over to just try and lift it off of his person without moving from my seat.
Go ahead and roll with advantage.
Sleight of hand. So 28.
Nope.
You're easily able to slip the key from his pocket, snatching the key from his pocket, and easily able to put it into your own hand and slip it into your own purse.
Sure. I will kind of nod in the direction that I know Loot and Stinkfoot are vibing in, and just
Okay.
go back to paying attention passively to the conversation. Like, I'm there as the driver. I'm not really supposed to be listening, but I'm trying to at least be part of the present in the conversation.
Yep. All right. Stinkfoot and Loot, it's about time for the chaos and distraction. What are you going to do? How are you going to play it out?
Can I make a perception check to listen for some? Actually, you know what? I'm just going to make a performance check to imitate a voice coming from somewhere in the middle of the tavern floor and insult the bartender.
Okay. So your mimicry check is 8 plus your proficiency modifier plus your 8 plus your proficiency bonus and your charisma modifier. So
Yeah,
what
that's
is
actually
your-
it's
14?
eight plus 6. Yeah, 14.
That's the DC.
All right.
Yeah, that's a insight DC.
All right. He's going to attempt his wisdom insight, which is crap. He is going to have disadvantage because he is extremely inebriated. So it's not that roll. It's that roll. And he doesn't really he steps up, and since he made your DC, he kind of at first hears it and kind of looks around, stands up, kind of, his chair kind of falls behind him, and he kind of stands up and looks around, and he kind of looks around. He sees most of the other patrons kind of still looking about themselves, and then a couple of them start to look about as well. And let me make a couple of checks for those folks. One moment. My apologies. There we go.
Okay.
And then you'd see a group of three of them, three people sitting at a table towards the middle. All of them having failed the mimicry check. They all start looking around and said, "Who said that? Who said that? Did you say that?" And they all start, kind of getting, it's got like a, not really like punching each other, but like a kind of a pushing contest in the middle. You see a couple of drinks kind of get spilled, but nothing really starts. Is there anything that anyone would like to do to escalate the thing?
I'm going to message him. Don't let them talk to her like that. Defend her honor, you fool.
Do you want to give me
Whatever you want.
persuasion, intimidation? You will have advantage on the check because he is pretty wasted.
They're both bad. So I'm just gonna. I have advantage, so I won't use my inspiration, but I will close my eyes and click the button.
Oh,
And that's 20 on your roll with advantage.
Awesome.
And he kind of, you see him, hazily looking around, he's a little groggy and stuff from being wasted. And he kind of pushes you aside, Thaddeus, and kind of throwing you into the table a little bit. And he kind of winds his way over into the middle of them and just starts throwing haymakers.
Thaddeus.
I'll shoot after him and say that's right. Don't let them speak about her that way.
And all around you, a bar
Take him
brawl
on.
breaks out. Glasses flying everywhere, stools, chairs.
Well, sir, I believe it is time for us to take our leave.
I'm gonna stealth my way out.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me a stealth check. Actually,
I'm gonna
everyone give me also. You can go ahead and give me a group stealth check first, but then after that, we'll have everyone give me a dexterity saving throw.
All right. I'm also going to use my Kinku recall on the stealth check
Okay.
to give myself advantage.
All right. So that is a successful group stealth check. Now, everyone give me a dexterity saving throw.
I'm going to use my DM inspiration on this one.
Okay.
Good Lord, the dice like me today. I am alarmed at how this is gonna turn around on me later.
Okay. I'm going to use my inspiration on this as well.
All right. Oh,
Please,
Didn't need it. But
you're able to kind of stealth out, getting out, and you are ducking and dodging all the way as like wine glasses and beer mugs and metal tankers and wooden mugs and stuff getting slammed all around you and people swinging and stuff. You're able to make it outside the tipsy tanker without getting hit by anything or hit by anyone.
how mimicky is my raven? I don't think I can do like words, right?
I don't believe so. It should, if you open up its character sheet, it should have all the information there.
Oh, that's right. It has a character sheet now. I don't have to check the monster guide.
Once we're outside, I want to drop my disguise self. And if I see the city watch coming, I want to point them in the direction of Elix, like describing him, like this man. He just went berserk. He just started throwing punches. I don't even know what happened. Make sure they know it's him.
Oh, sure. Go ahead and give me a performance check just for fun. I mean, you're being honest. You don't really have to, but if you want to be dramatic about it, more dramatic.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
Oh,
hey, that's real bad.
they immediately ask for the location, and after you tell them the tipsy tankard, they immediately start off trotting. And you see a couple of them pull out some sacks, and a couple of them pull out some clubs and start heading in that direction.
I will yell as they take off a description of our friend. Yelling, he started this, he started this.
Oh, they basically say they know exactly who you're talking about.
Good.
It's got a rep. I love this. Someone's
And,
been in the drunk tank.
Yep.
But I
and they
described Thaddeus. No, I'm just kidding.
and observe the, what was that?
I described Thaddeus.
Oh. No, but as you of course they get over there and just watching for a little while just to make sure it works. You do see him come out in manacles along with a couple of the other patrons that were fighting. You do notice that a couple of the other patrons did definitely take a bit more licks than he did, but they do basically bring him out in manacles. Shortly afterwards, a locked carriage does arrive, and they're all thrown in there and ported off to the jail. All right, so you have nothing left but head to the manor and start getting into the guild house and start getting inside to achieve your goal, which is to extract this painting from the guild house.
Nothing can possibly go wrong.
Nothing can possibly go wrong.
I
But it is
mean,
close to the top of the hour, so we're going to save that until next week.
Maybe our thief will be back.
Yes, the rogue will be back next week. There will be a short time period where Spencer is going to be dropping off of the stream next week because we do have our Scry Ahead stream, I believe, correct?
Yes.
Next Sunday.
I'm gonna try and minimize that time away, but I will be disappearing for a little bit.
Yeah, so I think we start with this a little bit, then leave, and then come back towards the end there. So we'll try to leave some wanting to destruction for you when you come back.
I'm just looking forward to coming back and everything being on fire. Everything.
Everything's going perfectly fine while you're here. You leave for a little bit and you come back to just chaos.
I would expect nothing less.
All right. Well, that will bring us
5 times. We'll handle it.
You hear that, folks? He expects nothing less. We have an image to uphold.
I am complete.
Yes. But yeah, that will bring us to the end of the stream tonight. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Does anyone have anything they want to say before I say all of our goodbyes and all that?
thanks for coming by to watch. It's good to see
Yes,
everyone in chat.
Yes, we do definitely thank you for the new follows and the new subs. We appreciate that very much. Of course, thanks to all our supporters, especially our patrons from Patreon. If you'd like to help support the channel, please consider becoming a patron or subbing here on Twitch. The link to our Patreon page, as well as all of our social media accounts, can be found in the About Us section below here on Twitch. If you can, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, give us some likes, some retweets, all of that good stuff. Every sub, like, and share helps us out immensely. You can also support us by clicking on the About Us section below and join the Master of Dungeons community Discord server, where you can help shape a caring, accepting community. We also have our merch store available now that has been scrolling through, as well as our Discord link has been scrolling through the chat as we've played this evening. And of course, tips are always welcome, but they are not expected. We do have 3 tiers for our patrons for just a patron level. And of course, we do have 3 advertising tiers on there as well. If you want to check those out, we did just put those up in the last couple of weeks. And don't forget to tune in next week, 7 p.m. again, same Twitch channel here, the Master of Dungeons. We will be having Masterpiece Imbroglio Part 2, and we will have our Rogue Snaps will be back with us as well. Tomorrow we will be the rest of our streams this week. Tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. we did get some fairly good responses from our Around the Campfire, so we will be doing that tomorrow night at 8 p.m. from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, we'll be back on Tuesday with our Dungeons and Deliberations, working on our adventure that we're creating live on stream. And then we will have our Tavern Talks on Wednesday, talking about all of the new 1 D&D playtest material. And then we will have our Dungeon Delving on Thursday and Friday. So, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thanks for watching. And as always, happy adventuring. Have a great night.
Bye.